Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about the gold standard in my record collection, records that I have paid a pretty penny for or got a great deal and paid next to nothing for, but I feel like these records sound absolutely amazing. I'm wearing gold today because I want to talk to you about the gold standard, and I also want to address something that happened unexpected from last week. Last week I made a video and I gave an honest opinion about a record that I had been looking forward to receiving, and I just shared my views. You can go back and watch that video. I said a lot of very positive things about that release, but I just said honestly, in my opinion, the sound quality was just meh. It didn't really do anything for me. And I actually preferred the original of that record. And I do these kind of videos all the time. I praise records that I think are amazing, but I also point out records when they have a warp, when there's a lot of clicks and pops, when some things just don't measure up for me. And it's always just my opinion, and I have different sound equipment than you do, and I'm just sharing what I think. And I also, with this channel, I've never claimed to be a teacher or someone superior. I feel like I'm creating a video and I have viewers that are my peers, and we just talk about records. Some of you, most of you, have been collecting records for a lot longer than I have, and it's a joy to hear from you every week, and we just talk about records. We agree on a lot of things, we disagree on a lot of things, and I really appreciate that. There's so many times in my videos where I say something maybe funny or controversial or whatever, and I'll say, feel free to leave a comment if you disagree. I'm a big girl and I can take it, and I can. This is all just a lot of fun. And I made a video last week, like I said, where I just wasn't as excited. I was actually disappointed about a release that I had been very excited about before, because the sound quality of the release to my ears in my music room wasn't that great. And I even had my husband come in and give it a listen. He didn't know if he was listening to the original or the new one. I just wanted to get his take, and he shared, and he had the same reaction as I did. And I don't really ever want any of my viewers to just listen to me and be a robot. And I don't think any of you are. I think that you all maybe listen to my opinion, but of course you make up your own minds because you are smart that way, you know? If it's something you really want to order, you do your research. You maybe take my opinion into account, but you take other people's opinions into account as well and make your own decisions. A lot of you with this release agreed with me, and a lot of you didn't. And that's pretty common when I don't even say I did a review of that. I didn't do a proper review of that record that I'm talking about. I just shared some thoughts about it. I didn't go track by track, and I wasn't hard hitting on every single song. I just said in general, this record was a disappointment for me. But I also said a lot of nice things about it. So I really appreciate all of you that responded, whether you agreed or disagreed. And I got a lot of both. This is a very mixed reaction kind of record. And that's pretty normal. When I say something, I get mixed reviews. I get mixed reactions, and I love that. It makes it a lot more interesting, to be honest with you. What I didn't expect to happen from last week, this is new. There was a professional reviewer that came on to my comments section. And I don't even know if he watched my video, but he started commenting, not to me. He didn't address me. He just addressed some of my viewers and just said, "This is the best sounding version of this record." He didn't say, in my opinion. He just said it like it was fact. And he went around and made multiple comments to my viewers, not me. I found that to be very unusual. This is a professional reviewer, and I read his review before making a decision about whether I wanted to order this particular record. He didn't make up my mind for me. I was pretty much going to order it because I love this record, and it was something very sentimental to me. I thought it was very weird for a professional reviewer to get on my comments and start proclaiming this is the best version of this record like it's a fact. And I don't know why someone would do that. Is that the job of a reviewer? Once they make their own review and put it out there, should they even be on trying to talk people into buying it? And I realized that some people posted, "Ooh, I've been on the fence now, but maybe I shouldn't buy it after seeing what you said." Well, I don't think people actually make their determinations that way. If someone is on the fence about it, it's because they're not sure they want to spend that kind of money. $100 for a record is a lot of money. And I just think they're going to make up their own minds. I think maybe something I say may make them think about it a little more, but there's nothing wrong with really considering something before purchasing it. And again, it's just my opinion. I do not think that what I think means more than what my viewers think at all. I just personally didn't think it was that great. I was disappointed in the sound quality, but very positive in other ways about that. So, I was just a little surprised at that professional reviewer going on my channel, and really, it almost seemed like he was trying to promote sales. Is that a job of a reviewer to do that? I don't think it is, but again, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't really know. I do want to say, though, that what I'm saying here isn't a personal knock against this person. I've actually got to meet this person, and I respect this person, his knowledge, and I found him to be very charming and warm when I met him. So I have nothing against this person at all. But I was just actually really surprised that he came on and talked to my viewers, I should say, not reviewers. And I wonder, did it make some of my viewers uncomfortable? No one reached out to me and said they were uncomfortable, so maybe not. But anyway, here's the deal too. I really want to be able to just speak my mind about records. If I like it, I want to be able to say I like it. If I don't, I want to be able to say it just wasn't for me, and just not take so much heat. I've done this several times, and I've never had personal attacks or people coming on my comments like that before. I feel like we're kind of sometimes in a bad situation as someone who makes videos. If we like everything and do nothing but give glowing reviews, well, you kind of lose some credibility there. And if you say something negative, though, you get pounded for that too. So I guess the bottom line is I'm just going to keep being me, and I'm going to speak my mind. And all the time, I always want my viewers to speak their mind to me as well. We are friends. I've met some of you, and some of you have been commenting on my channel for so long, and I just absolutely treasure all of you for sticking with me for so long. Let me know what you think about that. Is it okay for a professional reviewer to come on my channel and try to talk my viewers into purchasing something that they're a little hesitant about? And it's so funny because I think about this. This is just something that popped in my mind today. My mom has been gone for 10 years now. And she died before I started my vinyl channel, before I really seriously got into vinyl collecting. If she knew that I had spent $100 on one record, I can't even imagine what she would be saying to me. I realize that this hobby is sometimes really crazy. I'm going to be showing some craziness in this, but with the records I'm going to be showing from now on, these are records that, yes, I paid the big bucks for in some cases, and in some, I feel like they're worth the big bucks that you don't have to pay. So there's something for every price range that I'm going to be showing here. But you know, I really do think that a lot of these records are worth it. The one I showed last week, in my opinion, just wasn't. And I realize that there's some mixed reviews going on. And I honestly, this is how I honestly feel. Maybe just because I didn't like it, I hope everybody else does, because I like the company that made that record. I love the titles they're choosing. I think they're really onto something with the choices they're making, and I want them to succeed. And I don't want other people to regret spending $100. So that's all I really wanted to address on that. Let's go ahead now and talk about the records that, in my opinion, and in my stereo equipment when I'm listening in this room, are the gold standard. I've talked about some of these on my channel, probably all of them, but these are records that some of them are cheap, some of them are expensive, and they're worth every penny and then some for me. And I'm going to start with one that was $200 for 5 records. It's a box set, and it's from the Rhino Hi-Fi series. This is that ZZ Top. Now there's 2 ZZ Top box sets that Rhino has put out there now for the Hi-Fi series. I don't own the first one with the early ZZ Top, but I was so thrilled to get this one. This one has Eliminator and Afterburner and a lot of really wonderful ZZ Top records in here that sound incredible. I thought $200 for 5 LPs, it's not cheap. It's a lot of money. $200 is a lot of money. But I felt like for the joy I get into it and how much fun I've had with it, so worth it. I love it. And I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. I will no longer ever need to buy another copy of Eliminator or Afterburner or any of these later ZZ Top records. So I love having this ZZ Top box set. Money well spent at $200. This next one is even more money. And then after that, I'm going to go into a little more what I call cheap heat. But this is one that has gotten some criticism. I think it's fantastic. It came out last year. It's expensive. I don't even remember how much I paid for it, but it was well over $200. And it's Creedence Clearwater Revival's Absolute Originals from Analog Productions. This is one that had been out of print for a very long time. And it's just Creedence Clearwater Revival's greatest hits. It's their biggies. It's not every single LP that they made and every song. So it's a select groupings of songs. And it drew some criticism for that, for the price and for what you were getting. But my goodness, this to me is absolutely amazing. Well, I love everything about it. Money well spent. When I put on Suzy Q, every time I put on Suzy Q, I just get goosebumps, and it just absolutely soars to new heights in my music room. I heard it from through the grapevine. Is absolutely incredible. Every single song you love from Creedence Clearwater Revival, the biggest hits, are on here. And I've never heard them sound this good. So good on Analog Productions. Yes, I paid a lot of money for that one, but it was money well spent for me. I am going to have that the rest of my life to listen to and enjoy. So let's now get into a little cheaper heat here. This is something I picked up My husband and I, during COVID, went to a record store. It was a milestone birthday for me, and my birthday gift, because my Rolling Stones concert tickets, where I was sitting in the pit, got canceled. I didn't get to go see the Rolling Stones. Instead, I got to go on a major vinyl record shopping spree. And I picked this one up because it just looked interesting. Donald Fagen's The Nightfly. This was on a QX2 pressing, which means if you hold this vinyl up to a light, it's transparent, it's very quiet. But this is, and it's a promotional copy of this record, but it's a Robert Ludwig version, and you can have a regular Robert Ludwig copy. You don't have to have a QX2. It doesn't have to be a promotional copy. It can be just on regular black vinyl. And this record, The Nightfly, soars in my music room. It's incredible. And I also have the 1984 Mobile Fidelity version of this. This is better, in my opinion, just my opinion, in my room. I have not heard the newer One Step. I would love to hear that one because I hear it's absolutely fantastic. But in the meantime, I didn't pay a lot for this, and you don't have to either. Look up and make sure you get a Robert Ludwig mastered version of this, and you're going to be thrilled. I have gotten so much more than what I paid for it, out of just love for the music, love for how it sounds. This next record is it is the third copy and final copy of this record I will ever buy. And it is a Crosby, Stills Nash, and everybody calls it the couch version, the couch album, because they're sitting on a couch. It's a wonderful record. This is the Analog Productions 75th anniversary version of this record. And I have a couple of other versions of this record that are very, very good. But the first 2 or 3 songs on it just don't sound as good as the rest. It's an inconsistent sounding record. And I don't know all of the details, but from what I have heard other people say, that it was in the recording and the way they set up the microphones to capture Crosby, Stills, and Nash's harmonies that led to the way the record sounded. Those first few songs just don't sound as good as the rest of the album. And I have a couple other copies of this record where that's the case. So I read a lot of great reviews about this Analog Productions Atlantic 75th anniversary edition. This is 45 RPM. I heard enough great reviews about it that I decided to buy it. And this is the final copy I'll ever need. The problems that were on some of the other versions of this record were somehow solved on this one, and it just sounds absolutely amazing. So after having 2 other copies of this record, I spent another $60 plus shipping plus tax, but I do not regret it. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's an amazing record, and I think that Analog Productions knocked this one out of the park. I've heard so many good things about this. And also, I have a friend who also makes vinyl videos named Adam. His channel's The Freight, and he has a band called The Freight. He also recommends Abandoned Luncheonette from Daryl Hall and John Oates, Hall & Oates. He says that is the best sounding record in his collection. So I trust his judgment. I still need to buy that record. I highly recommend it. I put it out there because I trust his opinion on that. Now, this record is so cheap, but it's so good. And Ron Beaudry talked about this on his channel, and I really respect his opinion. So I saw this. This is a 1984 reissue on the Pablo label. It's 88 Basie Street by Count Basie and his orchestra. An extremely cheap record. It didn't cost a lot of money, but it sounds like it should cost $100 or more. It's unbelievably good. And I can't say that Count Basie is my favorite artist, but I do love jazz and I do appreciate this. So I would say, even if this isn't maybe your cup of tea, but you see it for like $3, $4, under $10, whatever, because that's what it usually costs. Buy it, put it on your turntable, and you will be absolutely amazed by the sound quality. It's so good. And maybe, just maybe, you will fall in love with the music, because a lot of times when something sounds really good, it does encourage me to fall in love with that music, that genre. That's how I grew to love jazz. So this is an absolute winner, and it won't cost you. I don't even know if you don't have to have the 1984 version on Pablo. You could probably buy different copies of this record and you'll be equally impressed. I just know that this one is absolutely fantastic. Now, this record is one that blew me away. I really love it. And again, it is an expensive record. I did get a promo copy of this record, and I want to address that too, because I've been called a few names for getting free records here and there. And I judge them in the same way that I judge records I buy. This record I would have bought whether I got it for free. I would have paid for anyway, because it's a band I absolutely love. I give my honest opinion either way. And I'm at a point, you guys, where I have enough records. I don't want free records for the sake of getting free records. They have to be good. And they have to be titles I'm interested in. I don't need to have just free records thrown at me or whatever. I like to show records that I think are of value, something that works with my channel and how the music I love. I love talking to you about and sharing new releases. The majority of my records I pay for, but every once in a while I do get something for free, and I always tell you that. So having said all that, yes, I got Van Halen's Fair Warning. It's a promotional copy from Mobile Fidelity, 2 LPs, 45 RPM, mastered by Krieg Wunderlich. And like I said, I would have bought this because Van Halen is my favorite band. And I was absolutely thrilled when they announced they were doing these one steps. It came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. Fair Warning, out of all of them, is my favorite sound quality wise. I think they knocked this out of the park. And I'd also say Van Halen 2, unbelievable. They're all extremely good. They have done an amazing job with these Van Halen. They all sound better than my originals, and even any copy I've ever owned before. And so even though I did get this as a promotional copy, it's just worth every penny to me if I had bought it too. It really wouldn't have mattered. My opinion would have been the same. This is a record that, again, cheap heat. And I hear people all the time talking about the UHQR of Steely Dan's Gaucho. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about buying it. But then I put this on, and it's a reissue. It's not even a first pressing. I don't think there's anything that special about it. But yet, yes, there is something really special about it. I put it on my turntable, and in my room, this record just absolutely explodes and dances. And then I realize, okay, I don't need to buy a UHQR because I have this one and it's awesome. So I just say, anytime you want to hear something really great that sounds amazing, just pick up Steely Dan's Gaucho. I imagine just about every copy sounds really great. Here is one that's so awesome. It is from Impex Records, and it's such a beautiful packaging. And it's Getz Gilberto Jobim. I always pronounce that wrong. Getz Gilberto, and it's just an absolutely fantastic record. Impex put this one out there at 45 RPM. The Analog Productions version's also really good. This one blows me away when I play it. It's so beautiful in my room. It is definitely all of these records. Any of these records I put on here could be a test record. These are records that if someone came over and I wanted them to hear why I'm so into vinyl, I would put any of these records on. This one is not cheap. I think it's out of print. I think it's sold out. So you would have to buy it on a secondary market. I don't remember how much these Impex One Steps cost, but I think they're about $100. unbelievable sound. They're so beautiful, and I just really enjoy them. So these are just a handful of records that I think for my music room and in my opinion for my ears are the gold standard. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please comment on what you think of from last week's video if you have any thoughts. Let me know if you have any suggestions of other records that are the gold standard for you. Obviously, I want to hear all about that. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. But most importantly, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.